Welcome to the Tech Solutions. In the Tech Solutions, we will also discuss about learning HTML and CSS, designing your first website. First, if you can imagine a time before the inventions of the internet, website, date, exit and books printed on papers tightly bound were your primary source of information. It looks a considerable amount of effort and reading to track down the exact pieces of information you were after. Today you can open a web browser, jump out of your search engine of choice and search away any bit of imaginable information rests at your fingertips, and change or someone somewhere has built a website with your exit search in mind. Within these books, I'm going to show you have to build your own websites using the two most dominant computer language, HTML and CSS. Before we begin our journey to learn how to build websites with HTML and CSS, is important to understand the difference between the two languages, the syntax of each language, and some common terminology. What are HTML and CSS? HTML, a hypertext markup language, gives content structure and meaning by defining that content, as for example heading, programs, events. CSS are cascading style sheets in a presentation. The language creates start to style via appearance of counts using, for example, fonts or colors. The two languages, HTML and CSS, are independent of one another and should remain that way. CSS should not be written inside of an HTML document and vice versa. As a rule, HTML will always represent content and CSS will always represent the appearance of that content. With this understanding of the difference between HTML and CSS, let's dive into HTML in more detail. Understanding common HTML terms. While getting started with HTML, you will likely encounter new, often strange terms. Over time, you will become more and more familiar with all of them. About the three common HTML terms, you should begin with their elements, tags, and attributes. Elements are designators that define the structure and content to object in a page. Some of the more frequently used elements include multiple levels of headings identified through and paragraphs identified as the element. The list goes one or two, include head and elements and many more. Elements are identified by the use of a less than and greater than angles bracket surrounding the elements. Then those elements will look like the following. Next, tag. The use of less than and greater than angles brackets surrounding an element created with is known as a tag. Tag most commonly occurs a pair of opening and closing tags. An opening tag marks the beginning of an element. It consists of a less than sign followed by an element's name and ends with a greater than sign. For example, a closing tag and marks the end of an element.